Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the year 2026. Out of the traditional Rider-Waite deck today, we have the Ten of Pentacles. This is representative of all of the growth that you're going to experience this year, Cancer. And the word that is defining your year is actually growth. And so I can feel that you would be exponentially expanding into your light. And this is astounding growth coming in for you, okay? So this is something that you're embracing. It's something you're really excited about. It feels very much like the Fool's Journey, right? There's going to be a lot of new experiences for you this year. And of course, you're going to make some mistakes along the way. That's just part of the process. And that's how you learn about yourself and you grow. And I think that this is really going to be a time where it's a little bit of a foolhardy energy that's coming in with that, where there's some rash decisions being made, where you haven't really thought things through entirely, maybe making that more on an impulse. But you're going to be going boldly and confidently into these journey, into the choices in this journey that you're making. And so it's passion fueled and passion filled. And I feel as though some of the time this is like with reckless abandon, right? Where you're ignoring some of the risks, even if you do see them for the sake of the experience. So I do get a sense that when it comes to work, this could be a year where you are adopting some sort of a leave no man behind strategy. You're all in, and it's almost as if you're defining your success being their success and their success being your success. And that is why it's a leave no man behind, right? You're going to be able to work well together. You're going to be able to help others identify their strengths and weaknesses and help them to adapt and play to their strengths, work with their strengths, because you're only as strong as the team that you're working with. So, but I do feel that this is something that's going to be successful for you. In terms of love, the song You Ought to Know with Alanis Morissette kind of comes to mind with this. And I think that this is something that you are partaking in on this journey as a result of a breakup. And if you aren't entering the year single, this could be the cause of a breakup, right? Where you are trying to seek that fulfillment outside of the relationship because it isn't feeling quite as fulfilling while you're in it, right? And I think that this is you understanding that staying in that situation that isn't resonating for you any longer is something that's keeping you from expanding into your light. And I realize that that's likely a part of how this person affects your aura. I feel as though there are spots in your aura that could be a little bit weakened in your energy field, and perhaps you feel as though you're doing all of the work to maintain the relationship. Maybe their lack of action can trigger some of your traumas where you're feeling maybe neglected a little bit in terms of the energy that they are withholding, right? And so that it could leave you in a space where you're feeling a little bit hopeless and discouraged. But ultimately, you feel like it's going nowhere. And I feel as though that's something that you decide that this is no longer fulfilling and that you're the one that walks away. So that's what I'm feeling with that. I think overall this year it'd be beneficial for you to kind of look at things in a short-term manner where you're making goals for maybe the first 6 months of the year, and then when that comes in June, you will be able to see things a little bit more clearly and then focus and reestablish different goals for the last 6 months of the year. I think that they are going to look drastically different. So the first 6 months of the year will look completely different than the last half of your year. It's going to look drastically different. It's going to feel drastically different. And I do think that you'll be leaning into your intuition a bit more in terms of following your heart and making those goals based on how you're feeling at that time, what you've worked through. And I think the end of June, beginning of July, there's a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. And I think around this time, this is really going to maybe feel up until that point. So, like the beginning of the year through maybe the end of June, you could feel as though you have a little bit of a clouded vision. Perhaps you have some limited thinking, not seeing things in a full perspective. And you could be feeling a lot of nostalgia around that time, but this is where it's important for you to make sure that you're leaning into your intuition, okay? But I would avoid at that time, any new starts and avoid any sort of like risky decisions because they have a potential to end up not working out in your favor or not working out to all that you had hoped. And so, later in the year, I do feel as though you will be making more headway. I get this feeling that you'll be like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. You're going to be pushing past barriers. And I get a sense, I don't necessarily know as I'm wording it right, but um, like you're ignoring some of the issues that are arising and then becoming more like laser focused on how you can handle that. So you're very focused on the solutions. I do feel like there could be an event around that time that kind of is something that happens to you that's really not through any fault of your own. So whether that's you had to change your place of living. Perhaps maybe the building that you're living in got sold or something like that. Or you could find yourself losing some sort of an income stream, right? But I think that you're going to really be pushing past that with a lot of grit, your courage, your faith, and that's going to see you through as you're laser focused on the solution. I think you overcome this very easily. It's something very easy for you, and you overcome it quickly and without any difficulty. And you're growing in your self reliance with that. And as you embody that confidence, um, this is going to be bringing in a potential for you to attract a deeper, long lasting connection in terms of love. So that's a beautiful energy here for that. And I think that whether or not that event through no fault of your own resonates for you, because that may be for a select few or just one person that I'm reading for. Even if it isn't physically happening, it could be a metaphorical thing where you're grappling with feeling that sense of belonging or feeling that comfort within your home space and want to kind of like redefine it in that way. Because when you're feeling your best in your own space, in your own sanctuary, that is going to be the recipe for growth, and that is going to be helpful for you to nurture yourself through this time and nurture that light and growth. So beautiful energy here for you, Cancer, for 2026. I do so hope that this resonates, and as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.